is for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first-year challenger, hailing from Amarillo, Texas, weighing 241 pounds, Dory Jr.
Former NWA World Heavyweight Champion Dory Funk Jr. making his way to the ring with his www.doryfunk.com ring jacket. Author of the Gunslinger Rap on the Internet. Michigan native Dan the Beast Severn to defend the title tonight against former champion Dory Funk Jr. Severn warming up as he does before each title defense. Working up a sweat before he even gets into the ring. Severn defeating Chris Candido for the World Championship in Erlanger, Kentucky on February 24th, 1995. Has held the title ever since. Defending it all over the world, over in Japan, Canada, here in the United States. Funk winning the title back in 1969. Wouldn't it be something if he regains it here tonight? April 12th, 1997. That would set some sort of record. I know Lou Thez has wrestled in several decades. He even wrestled Masachono in Japan so that he can be a competitor in the ring during the 1990s, but I don't think there's ever been a world champion with separate title reigns as far apart as Dory Funk Jr. would be if he wins the title here tonight from Dan Severn. Referee Fred Richards displaying the world title. Severn and Funk faced one another at Imaginations in Yardville, New Jersey, back on the 22nd of February, wrestling each other to a 30-minute time limit draw. Very good, pure wrestling match. Covered heavily by the Japanese press. Severn backing Funk into the corner, clean break. We're going to see a lot of those during this contest. Two great sportsmen, Dory Funk Jr. and Dan Severn. They lock up once again. And Funk backed into the corner. Fireman's carry takeover. Last year at the Eddie Gilbert Memorial Brawl over at the National Guard Armory here in Cherry Hill, Severn defended the title against Simply Sensational Al Snow in the main event as well. Dory took on Tommy Gilbert, wrestling him to a 20-minute time limit draw. Severn has competed for the IWA in Japan, as well as New Japan Pro Wrestling. Faced Yoshiaki Fujiwara in a televised matchup several months ago. And now Severn with Dory on his shoulders. What's he going to do with him? Places Funk on the top rope. Has him more backed into the corner than sitting on the top rope. Dory climbs back down. Severn, star of the Ultimate Fighting World in Yardville, got on the microphone before the match began and told the fans that if he wanted to, he could take Dory out in just a few seconds with a submission hold, but he respects Dory Funk Jr. and wanted to take him to the limit in a wrestling match. And that he did, but was not able to score a pinfall victory over Dory Funk Jr. Former NWA World Champion several times over, Handsome Harley Race in attendance here tonight, looking on. He knows Dory Funk Jr. very well. Tonight, his first time watching Dan Severn wrestle professionally. He has seen some of his UFC work. And Severn with a belly-to-belly suplex on Funk, takes him over. Not really following up, waits for Dory to get to his feet. Once again, both men taking it very slow here. And Severn down, goes for the leg of Dory Funk. And Severn once again has Junior up on his shoulders. And plants him in the mat while keeping hold of the arm. Chris Candido winning the NWA title again here in the historic city of Cherry Hill, New Jersey, back on November 19th, 1994. Defeated Al Snow, Tracy Smothers, and the Dirty White Boy in his matches in the tournament. Also featured in the tournament were Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, Johnny Gunn, Osamu Nishimura, Lightning Lou Perez, Dangerous Devin Storm, Jerry the King Lawler, one of the photographers there at ringside, can't really see him right now, he's on your left, got sort of a pink t-shirt on, baseball cap and sunglasses. That's Joe Marshall, the designer of the current NWA World Title belt. And the fans encouraging both men on here. Very scientific hold-for-hold wrestling encounter thus far between Severn and Funk. Funk gets out of the headlock, rolls up Severn, 2.5. Almost a fluke pinfall victory there for Dory Funk Jr., much like Lance Diamond got over the Reckless Youth earlier tonight. Severn with a big body slam on Funk, but Dory gets his shoulder up. 2.5. And an elbow drop right to the neck. But Dory kicks out once again. He's not going to put him away that easily. George Napolitano running around ringside taking photos for his chain of magazines. Also in attendance, Tim Walker, Blackjack Brown, several photographers from Japan. Donnie Liable, shooting ringside. One count by Funk, trying to pin both of Severn's shoulders to the mat. I don't think Dory's going to overpower Dan Severn here. Severn with his foot on the ropes, and Dory's going to have to break the hold. Referee Fred Richards getting in there. Severn once again with Dory on his shoulders. This time, that's got to take a lot out of the back of Dory. And now Severn with a leg lock. Richards asking Dory if he wants to give it up. Severn turning it into a half grab. And the fans, once again, encouraging both men on. Say this crowd is about 50-50. They appreciate the wrestling ability of both Dory Funk Jr. and the Beast. Still to come, Goldust will face Psycho Derek Domino, the other half of the Misfits, in our main event. As well, Flash Funk from the WWF squares off against Ace Darling. And the Nature Boy, Buddy Landell, with Jim Cornette, will take on Dangerous Doug Gilbert. Plus, we have a 20-man over-the-top rope battle royal. Severn now with a side headlock on Dory once again. Dory backs him into the corner. No, not a clean break that time as Dory. European uppercut. And he's being warned by Fred Richards in the corner. And Dory now seems to be a little ticked. Throws Severn to the floor, very uncharacteristic of Dory Funk Jr. He's not going to defeat Dan if they're on the ringside floor. He's got to do it in the ring. European uppercut once again on the floor. Dory climbs back into the ring as Severn regroups at ringside. Back up on the ring apron, and down again goes Dan Severn. Severn picking up Funk once again, and again, the back driven into the mat. And now Severn going for a Boston Crab. Gets him over, but Dory's too close to the ropes. He's got the bottom rope, and Severn's going to have to break the hold. Severn takes him down, holding onto the arm once again. Goes for a cover this time, only a 2 count. He's got a reverse chin lock on him. What he needs to do is get his knee into the back of Dory here. He leans back on it. Hands locked behind the head of Dory Funk Jr. Funk now on top of Severn, trying to squirm out of the situation. And they both roll over to the ropes. And once again, they break the hold. Funk rolls out onto the floor. Tempers appear to be flaring a little bit more here in Cherry Hill than they did at Imaginations back in February, as is evidenced by ramming Severn's forehead right into the timekeeper's table there. Severn now back up on the ring apron, and Funk's going to try to suplex him back into the ring, and he does. Do a round of applause from the fans. Funk now in control of the matchup. Has Severn down on the mat. Cowboy Bill Watts, former Mid-South bigwig and former executive vice president in charge of wrestling operations for World Championship Wrestling, looking on as well in the locker room. Severn takes Funk over and turns the tide of the matchup once again. Funk now bridging up. Slap on the chest of Dory takes him back down. Dory powers up once again. Severn holds on. But Dory takes him over, and Severn is in the ropes. Dory rolls to the floor again. Grabs Severn's leg and pulls him to the floor as well. Dory not being very wise. He can't win the belt, taking the match out into the crowd onto the floor. Severn now picking up Funk. Slams him down on the table and rolls him back into the ring. Big clothesline, and down goes Dory. Severn covers him. Only a 2 count. Leg drop right across the throat. And a 2 once again. Dory Funk in great physical condition. And a European uppercut once again catches Severn. And again, legendary blows administered by Funk. He He's too close to the ropes if he's going to take him over with that suplex. And the power of Dan Severn takes Dory over with a bridge. Only a 2. Both men physically drained by this point. Severn covers him once again, only a 2 count. Fred Richards on top of the action. Now Severn throwing Funk out on top of the table. Both men now back in the ring. Big clothesline, doesn't take Dory over the top rope. Severn's got him up on the top rope. Funk puts Severn through a table at ringside. Both men go crashing through the table onto the floor as Fred Richards puts the count on both men. Both Dan Severn and Dory Funk Jr., drained of energy, have been going at it for quite a while now. Dory trying to climb up onto the apron, can't quite make it. Richards continues the count and says to ring the bell. Looks like both men have been counted out of the ring. We have a double count out here. Double count out. It's a draw between Dan the Beast Severn and Dory Funk Jr. Severn walks away from the Eddie Gilbert Memorial Brawl, still holding on to the NWA World Championship belt. The crowd chanting for 5 more minutes as Fred Richards raises both of their arms. Nice handshake between Funk and Severn. Good show of sportsmanship. And Severn remains your World Heavyweight Champion.